Hi everyone, this is Maureen Kamari of Amari Baking Center, and I'm going live today on YouTube just to discuss a few things like as a person who deals with bakers, as a person who's in the baking industry, specifically in Kenya. I get a lot of questions, and sometimes I wonder, is the baking industry in Kenya profitable? So today I'll be discussing that specifically. For anyone who may join me live, please do comment below. Even if you join me after, please leave a comment on what you think, and I hope this gives you lots of value. So I'm just going to get right into my presentation for today. My answer to this question is yes. Yes, it is very profitable. However, it depends. I think this is something that happens in every business, right? In any industry, any business can be profitable, but it always depends on a few factors. So basically today, what I'm doing is discussing those factors. First, before I get into it, just a little intro. My name is Maureen Kamari, like I've just said. I am the founder of a business called Amari Baking Center, and we are a bakery workshop that's located in Nairobi, Kenya. And what we do is we offer classes, both practical and online classes, and we also offer business classes and especially mentorship programs for bakers who know they need help with baking for business. I'll leave links below on that. We also sell recipe books, both ebooks and printed, on cakes, cookies, breads, puff pastry, and fondant, right? So you can find us on social media. Just search Amari Baking Center here on YouTube. If you're not, make sure you subscribe and you hit that like button. We're also on Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter. On Twitter, we do have a different handle, Amari Baking Center with a CNTR. However, just search Amari Baking Center on most platforms and you're going to find us. So if you're not already, make sure you're following. So what makes a business profitable, right? What makes a business profitable? Because we can sit here and talk all day, but we need to figure out exactly what does it mean for a business to be profitable. And number one, you have to be making a good profit margin, right? A good net profit margin. So net profit is basically gross income minus expenses. Now, the reason I have the dots on that gross income is because when it comes to a baking business, it's when you take your sales and then you minus your direct expenses. These are the expenses that are needed to run this business, right? The ingredients, the carriage, right? The labor of the baker. First, removing that and having some kind of gross income. And then you come and then remove the other expenses. You don't need these to run your business, but they're very important, like marketing and, airtime and transport and just kind of any other extra expenses that are actually used in a business, like operating expenses. Once you remove those, if there is nothing left, you're making a loss. If there's something left, you're making a profit. And that's how you know if you're making a good net profit in your business. So for you to have a profitable business, you have to be making a good net profit margin. And if you want to find the net profit margin, and take your gross income minus expenses, divide that by your gross income, then times 100 to get the percentage, right? So most of the time you'll probably hear somebody say, I have a profit margin of 5%, 10%, 20%. That's what we're talking about right here, okay? And I'll get into that in a little bit. Number two, what makes a business profitable? Ensuring you have a sustainable business. What does that mean? And I don't mean green business. That's not the kind of sustainable I'm talking about. I mean a business that can last a very long time, right? It means a business that can last a very long time. And if you're wondering what that means, to put it very simply, it means that you can actually grow your business and scale. Hi, Nagas in Dubai. How are you? Thank you so much for joining me. So to have a sustainable business, you have to make sure it can scale and grow. A business that can only, stay very small is not a very sustainable business. It's not going to grow out of itself. It's not going to make you a lot of profit. So just know that's what it means to have a profitable business, right? So you might be thinking, okay, how am I going to know I'm making a profit? And bakers, this is where we struggle a lot, especially for home bakers, even small bakery shop owners. I am a baking business owner. This is my 8th year in business, and I'm still struggling with that. But we try and make it as consistent as possible when it comes to tracking finances, right? You need to track your finances. So just to highlight that really quickly, for you to know if you're not making a profit, you have to track all your finances for the business. That's money going in and that's money going out, right? You have to make sure you're tracking all your finances. And I mean all. I know bakers who track sometimes and then they don't track some other time. So you need to make sure you're tracking all your finances, right? The payments that are made, charges for the payments made, especially if you're in Kenya and you're doing M-Pesa, that's what's happening. If it is the bank transfers, the little bank charges that are missing in between that, that's it. If it is, I mean, bakers who are surprised that I'm telling you to track the soap and the cleaning detergents. You have to. That's a business. Anything that you are paying for or spending money on that has to do with your business, that's money going out and you have to track that. Then money coming in, that's the sales you're making, right? Or any invoices that are out there, you need to make sure you're tracking that. Number two, you have to have a summary every month to see if you're making a profit or a loss. Now, for those people who have had some exposure to accounting, you know that this is called a profit and loss statement, right? But to keep it simple, you have to have a summary every month, that's going like, okay, this is the money that came in. These are the expenses. So this is what's left, right? So this is a profit and loss statement. You need to make sure you're taking your sales minus your expenses and finding out if you're making money at all, to keep it simply. Number three, you have to do this every month. You cannot do this January and then you're like, I don't feel like it. And then March you come back. If you want to know how profitable your business is, you have to keep track of your finances continuously. Do we struggle with this? Yes. Do we try and catch up? Yes. Right? If you're late on, like we're a bit late on our August expenses, but we're going to keep up and we're going to make sure we've covered everything and we're going to know how much money we made. It cannot be a thing you do sometimes. It has to be a thing you do all the time, right? So make sure, if you want to know if you're making profit, track everything, do a summary every month, see if you're making a profit or a loss, okay? So just something you have to know. So if you're wondering, can you start, grow, and scale a baking business that is profitable in Kenya, in this state, or any other African country or country out there? Yes, you can. You definitely can. It's just, there's 4 things you need to do so that you make sure that's happening. Number 1, you need to realizing that owning a bakery is a broad thing, right? Saying I own a bakery is just very broad. So number 1, you need to choose the type of business setup and the type of business that can give you different types of profit margins, right? Because if you're a home baker, you're going to make a certain % of profit margin. If you're a customer retail bakery shop, that maybe means a little bit more. If you are an industrial bakery, that's a bit maybe more profit margin or even less. It depends, right? So you need to choose, what type of business am I setting up? Am I home-based for now and then I'll become something else? Do I want to open a shop? Do I want to go big and just do an industrial business? You need to choose. You can't just like do everything, right? So number 1, you need to make sure you choose a type. And I'll be linking the link to a video I did on the types of businesses, baking businesses you can choose from. Number 2, you need to pick a niche to focus on, especially since I deal with a lot of small business owner and home bakers. I find that nobody's picking a niche. Anybody who's successful, they picked a niche and they're known for something. Can you broaden the niche? Yes, you can. But you need to pick a niche, especially now. From 2020, a lot of people got into baking. So it's very competitive. So you need to start with one niche, be known for something, and then you can broaden over time when you're making a lot of money and you have maybe perfected your bakery system. So you need to make sure you're picking a niche. The third thing, you need a business plan and a strategy in place. You just need a business plan and a strategy in place. Plan ahead. Does this mean you're going to change your plan? Yes, it's going to change. But it's good to have a plan when you're starting, right? Have a strategy on your business plan that has all these things written down, right? The type and the niche and all that. You need to have a plan in place so that you know you have a blueprint that you're actually following. Have a solid marketing plan and a budget. Realize it's gonna be fluid. Things will change in the industry and you have to adapt. However, you have to have some type of plan for marketing. You can't just wake up in the morning and post, and then tomorrow I'm not going to post, and then the third day I'm going to post. You have to have a plan in place, right? And then on top of that, you have to look at the trends. especially now that the thing is you need to be online and market. You have to market your business online. There's no other way about this these days. So have a plan in place and then figure out where am I marketing and how am I doing it. Am I only doing social media marketing? In my social media marketing, what does that entail? Is that posting reels? Is that posting TikToks? Is that posting on Facebook? Videos and images? Do I have a plan on this? Do I have good photos? How am I taking my photos? Am I using influencer marketing? What am I doing? So you need to make sure you have a plan in place and a solid marketing plan that you're checking every month and seeing if it's working. If it's not working, do I need to start doing sales every 3 months? What do I need to do? You need to have a plan in place that you can even check and see if it's working, right? So to be honest, and with my 10 years plus of experience in the baking industry, if you don't do the above things, it's very unlikely for you to be successful in the industry. If you don't do those things, I have started business and watched people close businesses as well because they're not doing these things that I'm talking about. So if you're wondering if a baking business is profitable, it is. However, it's not going to be the easiest thing ever. You have to do all these things so that you can make sure that your business actually grows. So number one, make sure you choose the type of business you're going to do. Number two, pick a niche. Number three, have a business plan or strategy. And number four, have a solid marketing plan for your business. The other thing I want to mention is that if you're wondering about the baking industry, yes, you're right. Online marketing is definitely a key as a marketing plan. Like for me, that's how I've grown my business, by the way. Thanks for this. 90% of the marketing we do is actually online, believe it or not. So yeah, thanks. That's definitely the truth, right? So the other thing I like telling people is that starting a baking business is not the only option when it comes to being in the baking industry. You don't have to be a baker. You don't have to sell cake and pastries, right? You can actually do other things. However, of course, number one, baking and selling baked products is a good idea. I started by baking and selling products, and then I stopped for some time. The second thing you can do, which is what we do, we're a business that basically offers vocational training. We're not even a college. I do always want to tell people that we're just a private business that have a small academy that offers vocational training. And we train people in baking and cake decoration. So vocational training and teaching, or you as an individual can become a teacher. If you're an expert baker, you can teach others how to do something. And the same thing applies. Find a niche, keep to that niche, price well, all those things. So make sure you are aware that you don't have to only bake. Can you mix them up? Yes, you can, but that's always tricky. I always tell you, don't pick up too many niches at the same time, especially if your resources are low. If you have a big budget, fine. But if not, start with something like baking, and then you can ease into teaching after that. So for the longest time, we were just doing only teaching. We now do have a brand that does cake. It's called Chiffon Cakes by Amari. That's now the baking and the selling cake products. And we're very niched out. We only do chiffon cakes. So you can bake, sell products, you can teach. Number three, you can have cake supply shops. I'm sure you guys have seen this. You can stock and sell ingredients, packaging, equipment, and other bakery supplies to bakers and also to baking businesses. So of course, there's the large enterprise businesses like Top Serve Limited. That's one example. And then there's also smaller providers who are just doing, some ingredients, basic ingredients. There's some people who are just niching out on specific types of decorations, like the trending decorations. So you don't have to only do the baking. You can choose cake supply shop, and then you can choose a niche in that cake supply shop to be catering specifically to. The other way you can do baking business is cake delivery, right? There's a lot of us who need people to deliver our cakes in good condition, and it helps having somebody who specifies or is specific and specializes in doing cake delivery. There's a business called RNG. There's another one called Shikilia Stores in Nairobi. They do that. So there's many options of make it in the baking industry. So you can opt to help in the logistics of delivering cakes and other pastry products. And as bakers identify you to be an expert in that, they're going to be calling you for cake delivery or all that stuff. So please realize that there's not only one way of making money in the baking industry, but the same rules that I mentioned about before actually apply. Choose a niche, choose a type of setup, have a business plan, market your business, right? So you can sell cakes, you can teach people. If you're an expert, you can have a cake supply shop, and you can also do cake delivery. So at least there's all these options, especially in the Kenyan industry that's really growing. And in Africa and everywhere else, you can actually do a lot in the baking industry and be profitable. Now, specifically, if you're a baker who's baking, right? And you're wondering whether you should start a baking business, or if you're wondering if you should continue. I know this is economically, these are tough times for some people, and especially bakers who are doing home baking, that can be definitely a tough time right now. So if you're wondering if you should continue your business, here's what you should do. Now, this is for the people who are struggling, right? There's those people who already have strategies in place. If you are, good. If you are not, or you want to start and you're wondering, should I continue? Here's what I'll tell you to do. Number one, make sure you decide on your niche if you don't already have one. So if you're struggling, I bet this is number one problem. Have a niche. Are you catering to brides? Are you catering to custom cakes or fondant? Do you only do whipped cream cakes? Are you like us? You only do chiffon cakes? You need to decide on a niche, and then the type of business that you're starting. Are you doing a home-based business? Are you doing a small bakery shop? Are you doing an industrial one? Are you doing a walk-in retail bakery shop? You need to decide those things. This will help you know who you're selling to. And when it comes to marketing, this is very important, right? So decide on your niche and the type of bakery setup you're doing. This will help you with the who you are selling and marketing to. Number two, if you haven't done this already, have a business plan and a strong marketing plan. And this should include social media, like having a website, social media platforms, and other things, right? This is one of the things I'm covering in my social media online class that hopefully we'll offer later on. Analyze and check your progress weekly and change where necessary. The thing about social media and online marketing is that it's fluid. It can change. 3 weeks ago, what you were doing might be different from what you're doing now. So make sure you're keeping an eye on what's happening. How are people responding to my marketing? Why are they not responding to my marketing? Do I need to add another aspect of social media marketing, like maybe influencer marketing? You can look for micro influencers. That's what we do. And you just have them help you in your marketing sometimes, right? So make sure you have a solid marketing plan after having a business plan, which is a blueprint of how you're going to run your business. Number three, make sure to do proper costing and pricing of your products and services. This is a big one, especially for home bakers who are struggling with pricing. A lot of people look at what supermarkets are offering, they look at what other bakers are offering, and that's what they put the price. But they haven't sat down to actually discover how much does it cost me to make my cake. You cannot compare the prices and put it. You have to sit down, do your own costing. And by the way, we have 2 resources that can help you. One is free. We have a free costing and pricing class. Free, guys. You don't have to pay. In our Facebook group, just go search Amari Online Community, then answer the questions, you'll be approved, and then go to the guide section. And there is a free online costing and pricing class there. We have the templates in the group as well. You just have to get in the group, watch the videos all through, then do your costing. That's it. We also have a more intensive online class that's usually 1 month, and our next one is in October. Join that class and we'll even give you Excel sheets on how to do this. So you have no excuse for not costing and pricing your products and services properly. Please do that. Most people are actually not making it. They're selling a lot, they're busy, but they're not making money because they have costed wrong. So actually what they're doing is making losses daily instead of making a profit daily. Now, what else do you need to do to make sure you have a profitable baking business? Number 4, set up systems in your business that help you run an efficient business. Number 1, payment systems. If people are sending to your M-Pesa, to your personal M-Pesa, that needs to stop. If you need to get a line for your business only, start having people send money there. Number 2, register your business name and start getting a till. Do things that will make running your business very efficient and professional and profitable. Have a financial system. If you are not tracking anything right now and you're in business, start today. You were supposed to start yesterday, but start today, right? You can start literally physically, manually, like have a sales book or a receipt book or an invoice book, have a journal like a counter book where you note these things down, and have a petty cash voucher that notes the money going out. But if you don't have that, or if you don't want to do that, or you can, please get financial software like QuickBooks, Wave apps, that kind of thing that's going to help you start tracking your finances. Number 5, analyze your business every month every quarter, every year, to check if you're making progress. Every quarter is 3 months. And then where you need to make changes, make them. Do you need to change your price because there's inflation in ingredients? Do you need to change your marketing methods because they're no longer working? Are you getting any complaints on your product or your delivery or anything? Change that. Make sure you're analyzing your business every month, every quarter, and every year, and adjusting accordingly, because that's the only way you're going to have a profitable business. All right? Realize you can start various types of baking businesses. Like I said, not only baking, you can do cake supplies, you can do delivery, you can do different things, you can teach. Realize that if you want to have profitable business, it's possible. But you got to do what I just talked about. Then keep an eye on your profit margin. It doesn't matter how busy you are, guys. The reason why when people tell me I'm busy, I don't believe your business is doing it. I only believe your business is doing it when you tell me your profit margin is high and you can back it up with figures, right? So if you're not making money, you need to go back to the drawing board and sit down and start tracking your finances, because just because you're busy doesn't mean you're making money, right? Keep your eye on your profit margin. I just want to share some numbers for those who are like, how should I know? Okay, I found my profit margin. How do I know if it's good or bad? So here's averages, not specific industry, just averages in general in the world. If you are having a good, let's start with low. If you're having a low profit margin, that's 5%. And that's why when we're doing pricing, I always tell bakers, don't put your profit margin at 5%. Put it higher, or you're not going to be making money, or you're not going to last in the business industry. So low is 5%. That's okay when you're starting. Like the first 5 years, you can have 5%, by the way. Why? Because you're establishing your business. First year, you'll probably make losses. That's okay. As long as you're going to break even and then after that, start making profit, right? So it might take a year or two to actually start making profit. That's okay. However, if you continue on and you've planned out your business very well, by year 3, 4, 5, you should start making like 5%. After that, you want that to go higher. So the average business profit margin, this is average, is 10%. And then a good profit margin is 20% and above, right? So of course, different industries varies. We're in a production industry, especially if you're baking for business, that profit margin does tend to be low. But at least you can tell averages of business. Now, for bakeries, and these statistics, to be honest, are US based, because unfortunately in the African continent, we don't get a lot of people doing these studies, and then also bakeries don't track their finances, sadly, so a lot of people don't know. So this is based on some of the bakers I've dealt with, and then sort of like a universal statistic. Low profit margin for bakery is 4% and below. And to be honest, most businesses right now are probably doing 4% and less. Like I said, our industry is very production based, and a lot of people aren't tracking what's happening, especially small to medium enterprises. And so most people are doing 3%, 4%, right? The average is 5 to 9. This is good if you get to 5 to 9% profit margin as a baker. And I mean as a home baker, as an industrial baker, as a bakery owner, as a shop, that's your average. What's good? 12% and above. So this is where most of us are looking to head, right? We might be an average and we're trying to get to good. 12% and above. And by the way, in 1 year, you can go from low to average to low, right? Like last year we went to low to average. Now we've done like average to low. So you can change based on the economy, especially now since it's a bit erratic, but at least you want to keep it from average to good. If you can get it to 5%, that's good. And then like if you're at the 5-year mark or 3-year mark, just work on getting it from average to good, okay? So this is when your average is 5 to 9% and your good is 12% and above. This is your net profit margin. So I hope those numbers help you out. This is the end of my presentation. If you do watch this later, do feel free to ask questions. If you have any questions now, thanks for joining me. And I hope this has really brought you a lot of value. Yes, having a baking industry is profitable. Is it easy? No, it's not. But I believe it's definitely doable. And you got to keep working on it. You got to just like not give up and keep working on it. So I hope this has helped. Thanks for the comment, yeah, guys. I really appreciate it. Do leave a comment if you watch this later. Do let me know if you're struggling with profitability when it comes to your baking business. And if so, maybe I can see what I can suggest on different things. I'm seeing your question, you specialize in only pastries? No, we don't only do pastries. Actually, when we're teaching people, we actually teach a bit of everything. We do cake, cookies, pastries, all types of things. However, when we sell, we're only selling chiffon cakes. So if you go to amaribakery.com, you will see our whole, especially amaribakery.com/pricing. You will see all the classes that we offer. We also offer online classes, and we have those information there as well. So thank you so much for joining me, guys. I hope this has brought you lots of value. I'll be trying to go live every week, hopefully every Monday on YouTube, just to share some of these insights as we're continuing on. Leave comments on what you'd like me to cover next. Leave a comment if you're a home baker or a bakery shop owner that's doing this, and I really appreciate you hanging out. Thanks, now, guys. Please do visit the website. Thanks, yeah. And I'll see you guys next time. Have a lovely time. See you guys. Bye.